The real reason why you're struggling to see your future is because you're not being present. Welcome or welcome back at your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it does not apply, then that means it is not in line, which means it is not for you, so do not force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss the harsh truths when it comes to our healing journey, as well as today's video, which is going over and discussing why you are struggling with being present and what you should do in order for you to experience your future, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and just certain things that you need to be aware of. So starting off the first disclaimer, starting off with the introduction of today's video, the reason why you have been struggling to see a future is because you are trying to live in your future when it's time for you to be in the present moment. You have to experience where you are right now, despite of how uncomfortable you are feeling, despite if you want to be here or not. And the main reason is because today is the only day that matters. This doesn't mean that we don't have futures. This doesn't mean that we don't want to be successful. This doesn't mean that we don't want to grow and evolve, because you will, but it's not your season. It's not your time, and you have to be okay with that. So the second disclaimer is knowing that there's going to be a time and there's going to be a place. Just like the weather changes naturally and it doesn't need a reminder from the gods or the ancestors or the universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. It's the same way. You don't have to rush or constantly worry about things that are not happening for you. You have to realize that there is a time and a place. There was a time and a place for you to go to school. There was a time and place for you to study. And there was a time and a place for you to celebrate. There was a time and a place for you to rest. You have to apply that with your life and when it comes to your healing journey. You also have to keep in mind that because there are only 24 hours in a day, you're not going to be able to do a trillion tasks in a day. Over here, we're here to maintain and sustain our blessings and our positivity and the lifestyles that we create for ourselves. We're not here to overwork ourselves and be stressed out. And in order to do that, you have to take every single day for what it is. So the third disclaimer is knowing that you have to be okay with the discomfort. You have to be willing to persevere. You have to be willing to show up regardless. I have made over 1,000 videos, but specifically in the past month, how to stay consistent, how to stay committed, how to see your goals all the way through. Like, in order for you to cross the finish line, in order for you to reach that goal, in order for you to experience that desire, you had to have gone through certain things. You had to have overcome certain things. You have to become educated. You have to become equipped. With great success comes a certain level of responsibility, and that's the fourth disclaimer. Until you understand the ins and the outs, the pros and the cons, the time, the energy and effort, you cannot rush things that are out of your control. You cannot force things to happen when it's not meant to be. The more time, the more energy, the more effort you're putting yourself into people, places, and things that are not meant to be experiencing right now, you're the only person who gets overwhelmed. You're the only person who's comparing yourself. You're the only person who is tired. You're the only person who feels like you can't do certain things, and that's not true. So finally, before we get into the recommendations, you have to realize that it's no rush. You have to be where you are. You have to understand that despite what you are going through, if you want to execute your goals, if you want to see the other side, you have to be still. Learning how to be patient is a skill. Learning how to take time takes time. Learning to be okay with letting go of your past. Like, also too, before I get into the recommendations, if you have not learned to let go of old mindsets, old behaviors, old thoughts, old emotions, even people, places, and things, why do you expect your present self to be able to move forward? A lot of times we cannot move forward, and I'm speaking from experience. What has helped me along my healing journey was because you are worried about your past. You keep having conversations. You keep replaying certain emotions. You keep thinking about certain people, places, and things that were supposed to let go of. Now, of course, as your favorite mental health specialist, we're here to motivate, inform, and educate. Make sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. It's in the description down below. But you need to be taking notes. You need to be engaging in the comment section at this point. You need to be booking your service and your session, which is in my website, which is in the description down below. You need to be seeing a psychiatrist. You need to be going to a therapist. You need to have people that you can confide in and stop suppressing how you feel. Until you articulate yourself, until you accept what has happened to you, until you process what has happened to you, until you're honest, until you decide that you want to hold yourself accountable, until you realize that change does not always happen overnight, you are going to go through it. You are going to be frustrated. Like, this doesn't mean that you didn't go through trials and tribulations and that trauma does not psychologically, consciously, and subconsciously change or alter your perception when it comes to life. But at the end of the day is going to end. You have to make a decision, and that's the first recommendation. In order for you to create your future, in order for you to see the future, you just have to make a decision that where you used to be is not where you want to be, and that is okay. The second recommendation is allowing yourself to understand what you went through. So the first recommendation, repeat after me, was to decide. Do we want to move forward? Do we want better for ourselves? Or do we want to stay where we are? The second recommendation is allowing yourself to process the decision you just acknowledged. So you put in the comment section either yes, I want to move forward, or no, I'm going to stay where I am. You have to make decisions. You have to be held accountable. It is okay that you made certain decisions in your past maybe you weren't too proud of. Maybe nobody taught you. Maybe nobody showed you. Maybe you didn't have the friends. Maybe you didn't have the family. Maybe you didn't have the finances. Maybe you didn't have the education. You can't feel sorry for yourself. If you don't have people like me that is motivating you, informing you, and educating you as an naturopathic physician, which means we heal ourselves subconsciously and consciously and eternally first, and you don't believe in God or the ancestors or the universe, and you don't have a therapist, you don't have a psychiatrist, what are you going to do? You still have to live your life, and I'm speaking from experience. There are so many trials and tribulations that I've witnessed from other people, places, and things, as well as myself. I personally don't want to stay in my past. There's nothing in my past that I need to be attached to, that I need to continue to hold on to, because it was a lesson learned. Yes, this doesn't mean, like I said, I didn't go through certain things. It didn't affect me emotionally, physically, or financially, but that was the second recommendation, allowing myself to process what has happened to me. Until you process, which means you go through the emotions, you grieve, you talk about the anger, you talk about the frustration, you talk about being touched on, you talk about being in poverty, you talk about losing family, you talk about losing friends, you talk about the betrayal. Until you release it, until you can accept certain people and places and things said and did what they did, or you were a people pleaser or whatever it is, you're the only person who is holding on to things. And that is another reason why you can't see the future. Your mind is so attached to everything that you need to let go of. So the third thing that you need to do in order for you to see your future is letting it go. Now, of course, when you choose to let it go, like the disclaimer in all my videos, there's no right or wrong way to do so. It could take months, it could take years, it could take decades. It just depends on how much time, how much energy you're making for yourself. The same way you guys be on YouTube watching the Pop the Boom videos and seeing Mr. Beast hang out with 200 YouTubers is the same time, energy, and effort you could watch these videos and everything else. There's a time and a place. I've already said that. So if you're not willing to understand that you can't be out here comparing yourself to people, places, and things because you don't live the same life, or if you're not booking your service in a session, you're not engaging and letting me know what's working with you, what you need to work on, if you're not willing to be honest, if you're not willing to be vulnerable, if you're worried about people perceiving you and judging you, send and share this video to somebody who doesn't care, because we've never cared and we don't have time to care. What's more important, you being miserable or people talking about you being miserable? What's more important, you not being miserable, you not being miserable, or people trying to judge you about certain things that they've never even gone through themselves? It doesn't matter. You're the only person who has the past. You're the only person who feels haunted. You're the only person with the guilty conscience. I'm telling you from experience, life is going to go on. So the fourth recommendation, if that wasn't already because I lost count, is knowing that you do have to be still. Some days are going to be better than others. What has helped me along my healing journey was to create affirmations, which was your last homework assignment. So if you're new here, majority of the time in our videos, because we're educating and motivating, I am challenging you guys and I give you guys homework assignments, which you need to be doing in the comment section. That's the whole purpose of the engagement, okay? You help me, I help you. This is a teamwork and a dream work by answering certain questions. So the homework assignment, once again, for this video is to create 3 to 5 affirmations that you can reassure yourself with when you are going through uncertainty or when you are feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. And lastly, allowing yourself to accept the emotions that you're feeling. Ask yourself, why do I feel angry? Why do I feel frustrated? Why do some days feel better than the others? You just have to communicate. You just have to think. You just have to sit with yourself. Like, my account is to challenge and strengthen those who want to. Everybody else, it's not going to apply. But you're watching this. You keep coming back. You have your notifications on. You're browsing. You're choosing to be here. You're not choosing to be here just to support me. If you just want to support me, follow me on all my other personal social media platforms. If you really want to keep up with me and worry about what I'm doing, follow me on my personal social media platforms. I post there all the time, okay? But this is not about me. I didn't create this platform for me. I'm good well, actually no hood, because I've never been in the hood. I never grew up in the hood. No shade to the hoods, but yeah, we don't promote that. But anyways, and if you live in the hood, that's your business, okay? But what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, like, you decide your future, but in order for you to decide your future or to see the future, you have to be still. That's the truth. That is the only thing that's going to get you motivated. That's the only thing that's going to get you out of your current situation. Because if you are in a funk and you no longer want to be in a funk, you have to do the work to get yourself out of it. That's like if you dig yourself in a hole, how are you supposed to come out? You're just going to stay there? That's like if somebody kicked you, God forbid, somebody kicks you into a hole or into a ditch. You're just going to stay there? No, you need to get up. Okay, the content is for the people who put on their lemon pepper steppers and who mean what they say. It's 2026. It's already been 4 months into this brand new year. Okay, I'm gonna end up the video with that. Make sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. Once again, all the information is down in the description box below. When you guys are following me on all my social media platforms, specifically on Instagram and on TikTok for the rest of this month, I will be going live, answering you guys' questions in real times if you haven't booked your service in your session already. And if you are ready to do that and you have some difficulties with that, drop the word website in the comment section down below. But you are not alone. I love you. You are loved. Until next time, peace. Thanks for watching.